Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. This is a cake challenge piece, and as always the brigadiers in my Cherry Brigade voted for a specific theme, which was black and white. Here is the mood board I put together, just to give them a little bit of inspiration. However, they are free to choose any sort of black and white creation they want. I was running out of time as usual, so decided to just go with a panda figure, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Firstly, I would usually make my toppers straight onto the cakes, but as I don't have one to hand, I'm making it on a polystyrene block. It's only covered in kitchen roll because my block is full of coloured dyes and dust, and it just doesn't look very pretty to look at. So it's up to you whether you use it or not. So I'm just starting with a white ball of paste, and I'm pinching in around the top to make it smaller as it goes up towards the neck. At this point, I would then stick this to my cake. I've got one cocktail stick holding it down to the base, and then I'm inserting another cocktail stick which will then hold the head. You can just use one long kebab stick if you prefer. Then with the black, I'm actually waiting for my cake stock to arrive, so this black paste is just from B&M. Yes, the cheap supermarket sort of paste. And we're just going to give it a go to see how we get on with it. I've just started pinching it smaller in the middle, and I'm pushing one side into a little foot, and I'm leaving the other end as a large flat area. Now if we're to stick this against the panda, his legs are going to look a bit too chunky and big. So we're just going to chop some off with a knife so it sits against the body a little bit better. I'm adding a little bit of water to this flattened area and pushing it against the base of our panda's body. You just want to make the same thing on the other side, and then I'm tilting his feet slightly outwards to give him a cute look. Whilst our hands are still full of black sugar paste, we may as well work on some more black details. I'm just rolling out a thin piece of paste and cutting out a strip. Dampening the top of the body and placing the strip around the top. You want to cut off the excess at the back where it meets, and then I'm pushing the paste up towards the neck, so once the head is on you won't see any excess white. Now for the arms, I'm just rolling a very slight tapered sausage, squashing out a little bit, and then I'm bending the top up and the bottom of the arm down, so it looks a bit like a slug shape. Again, I'm just trimming a little bit off the top of the arms to flatten it out so it sits against the body better, and I'm attaching it with water. You'll see the slug sort of shape we made brings his arm down and his paws onto his belly. Same thing on the other side, but just make your slug facing the other way. Now as we're going back to white, make sure you wash your hands, and we're just starting with a little dumpy oval shape. I'm rocking my finger across the top half, so I've created a bump on the bottom, and you can see I'm starting to tease in a little muzzle shape. You then want your Dresden tool and mark in a small smile. It goes up at the corners, then back down, up in the centre, so it's a bit like a little wiggle shape. Down, up, down, up. And then just poking in little holes at the end of the smile, and a tiny line going up to where the nose would be. At this point, I'm just going to stick his head on, and I'm lowering it down the cocktail stick and pushing it down at an angle, so his head is a little bit tilted to give him more character. I'm then adding some black for the nose. It's just a long piece, a bit like a bit of rice. And then I'm squashing it so that it's got a slight V at the bottom and it curls up at either side of the nose. The eye patches are a bit like jelly bean shapes, which you just want to squash out to flatten them against the head. Once your jelly bean shapes are on, we're taking a ball tool and marking in where we want our eyes to go. These will be quite close together at the tops of the jelly bean shapes, and then you can widen them just by swirling the ball tool inside. Now you can see I'm placing some white balls on the inside, but one falls deeper in the socket than the other one, and I want to get these to match. It's easy to fix, we're just adding another ball on top of the one that's deeper, which we can then just press out and flatten so it now matches the other eye. We're just layering up lots of black and white balls here, so this black ball is going to be the pupil. I'm pushing them quite large and placing them towards the inner corners of the eye. Then going back in with some teeny tiny white ones for catch lights in the top corners. Just make sure you're washing your hands in between the blacks and whites. For the ears, it's a black ball of paste and I'm pushing my ball tool down in the centre to make a hole. And then I'm cutting it in half. I do not recommend doing this on your hand, I was just short on time and needed to catch it on camera. I've used my scalpels a lot so I know when it's blunt. Then just loop over the halves and attach them to the top of the head as ears with a little bit of water. Finally, just to finish off his cheeky character, we're adding small ovals of pink underneath our jelly bean shapes for little pink cheeks. One more black ball around the back for a tail, and we've now finished our cute little panda. It was only a quick one today as I did need to get something on film, but stick around now to see all the Brigadier's black and white creations and vote for your favourites in the comments below. With your panda, you can give him a little bit of bamboo in his paws or a cute little flower, which makes a nice little cake topper for any cake. I hope you've enjoyed this one and enjoy looking at the Brigadier's pieces which are next, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.